All right, fellas, here we go, man. We are here nearing the end of the season. Uh, Coming off of a win, a much needed bounce back to the South Carolina loss, man. We've got quite a few like hot topics, man, to actually get into. It is Drink is about to go viral. I'm gonna just start right there. I think Spoon is one that sent it off to us, man. Him literally kind of barking at at Mississippi State's defense, telling them like, "Yo, shut up before we score." When we got basically on the goal line. I personally like the energy. I do. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. Man, how y'all feel about the energy he brings to this Mizzou team?
That's who he is. So like I wouldn't expect anything other than him to be himself.
Hmm.
He's passionate. I think that he likes to bring the juice,
Yeah,
and I think he talk a little stuff too a little bit. So I mean, he did it at Tennessee last year. He did it
yeah.
toward you know what I mean. So like
He was
I
standing on
like
business.
it. I
Yeah,
like it. Yeah, I like it. So um, it's one of those things, man, where like, also it's also kind of sends a message to your team that like, yo, it's all gas, no brakes too. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like,
hmm
I'm trying to instill that into my squad too. So I liked it.
Frank,
Me
how you feel
too.
about it?
I love it. My big brother sent it to me on Twitter,
Hmm
or X, formerly known as, and I saw it and
hmm
I was reading his lips and kind of checking his vibe. First, I was looking at his
Yeah,
sweatshirt, the white strings with the black with the tiger head. I
yeah.
really
I
was like,
needed
man,
that.
let
Shit
me
dope.
get that. You know what I'm saying? But then just to see his vibe on the sideline, I think it was something that, you play in a place like that. I haven't played there, but if you watch the game on
Hmm
TV, you can hear the cowbells, and I know that
Yeah.
that's going to get annoying, and so when
hmm
you're out there and you're running it, at will, we ran the ball about 50 times. That's
Yeah.
definitely, was a kind of one of those games where he really bought into the run back and really, said this is our identity, this is what we're gonna do tonight, and to let those guys know, I'm humble, but I let a mother know at the right time, and I'm with it because it does it gives your team an edge. Obviously, in recruiting, you go viral. Barstool's posting you and stuff. You get a chance for these young recruits who sit there with their phones all day, looking at it, and they
hmm
might think, "Man, this guy, he kind of he jaws at the players, like I do.
hmm
I might fit in here, So I think it's calculated, but also, like Mac says, Mac knows him a little bit more than us. That's
Yeah.
that's who he is, and I mean, he talked noise after the OU game. He riled up Bob Stoops apparently. Stoops was like, just keep following me on Twitter. So I know Drink, so
Yeah.
he gonna get at anybody he can get at, especially if he handling business, right? And he even gave it to
Yeah.
our guys. Caden Green, the Oklahoma transfer, was doing a little bit of talking too. And he's like,
hmm
Caden, shut the, so
Yeah.
he's giving it, what I'm saying, to both sides, and still keeping his guys, fired up. So I think it's good for the program.
All right, since we are now sitting at number 24 in the college football playoff ranking. I'm sorry, AP. I haven't looked at the college football rankings, but we're sitting at 24. Um, I'm out of the top 12, we have three SEC teams. I mean, I've made my stance knowing how I feel about the SEC, and after last week, I feel like this conference is beating up on each other, and it's been that way all year. Is this going to be a detriment as far as getting more SEC teams into the playoff? How you feel about that, J Mac?
I guess we'll wait and see, man. Like, those. I'm assuming that when the college football rankings come out, like that's how the people who are making those decisions, that's how they see those teams. So
Hmm
I guess we'll see kind of how it plays out. It's unfortunate that um, you got some three-loss teams now that I feel like in the SEC that are one of 13 best, 12 best teams. The
Easy.
issue is, man, like, you know, it's not always about like if you're better, you just have to be better on that particular day. And
Yeah.
like that's the thing about football, man, that people don't really understand, man. If you prepare the right way, and you get your guys to believe, man. All it takes for you to be better than that team for 3 hours on any given
hmm
Saturday, right? So it's not like a series in basketball.
Yeah.
Even professional sports, because even in college basketball, you see so many upsets when you get to March Madness because you only got to be better than them for that 2 hour game, So
Hmm
it's just unfortunate that we're not going to see um, the best 12 teams, but that's what makes this so also so much fun too. Like um, they went to 12 to try to eliminate some of this, but guess what? It's college football. Anything can happen. So
Still found a way back.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I'm
Mhm.
interested right now to see if there is a three-loss team that gets in. I'm telling you right now, I think the only two three-loss teams that might get in is either Bama and or South Carolina. I think South Carolina got a dark. I think South Carolina got a shot to get in. So we'll see. But uh, I'm just excited to see how it all plays out.
What about you, Spoon? How you feel about it?
Likewise, it's exciting. I think it's obviously saying that we haven't gotten it figured out yet. This is
Yeah.
just a couple years with playoffs, and a few years with playoffs. The
Yeah.
expansion this year is it hushed everybody up until now, right? And
Exactly.
I don't think they expanded for the ACC and the Big 12 and the those other they expanded because of what goes on in the SEC.
Hmm.
That drives the needle in college football. And the Big Ten is, I think they're a really good conference as well, but a little bit
Hmm.
more top heavy than the SEC. So don't be surprised if you see this expansion continue to go on until they can kind of get it into a right spot, because NCAA in basketball, what's it, 64 teams, and I think maybe four
Yeah,
more that kind of, I think it varies a little bit. I think you got a few
Hmm.
extra teams, but that format has been set for a very, very long time. And I think
Yeah.
once we get this format the right way, then we'll actually get a national champion. Because I believe if we rank the top 25 as being that's um, something that we strive for, then that's the top 25 in the country. You know,
Hmm.
so we have 134 universities competing for 12 spots is just something that you won't get a true champion. It's just not going to
yeah,
happen. Not when we're talking about three loss SEC teams that could beat anybody in the country. It's going to be tough, and maybe those teams that come out of these other divisions get a chance to show what they can do against a beat up SEC team who might be going through the ringer
Right.
all year. So it's still exciting. Like Max said, we're going to get an opportunity to see how the SEC stacks up or how the other conferences stack up against the SEC. But there's going to be somebody that's going to be upset, and I think what I would do, I would make it a top 20 a 20 team playoff. Four teams get a bye. Essentially, you have eight teams that have come out after the first week, and then you join in the top four teams with that eight, and then you have 12 teams for week two, and then it could go from there. I think that'd be a lot better to eliminate that bottom five of the top 25 as opposed to eliminating, teams that are 13, 14, 15. See, these teams can beat you, so
Hmm.
I think it'll be more official
Yeah.
once they get that down.
yeah.
What's Go
Oh, my
ahead.
bad. I was say football is just a tough sport, man, because so much more contact and like
Hmm.
what I mean. So it's just tough to add too many more rounds. You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's just one round though. We cut the championship game. Boom, conference. Nobody care about them conference championship games only for positioning. So if we cut them and we have all these teams who we believe are the top 20 teams per se, or maybe it's another number, I'm not sure, but I just think
Hmm.
ain't nobody in the top 30 say, man, we would have got them. Man, if like you
yeah,
outside of the top 25, you ain't got nothing to talk about, But some of these teams that have had great seasons
but
Yeah.
but
are
but
gonna be are gonna
but
be
but here's
kicked
the
out.
deal though. Here's the deal. I guarantee you, Mizzou thinks they can beat Indiana. You see what
Hell
I'm saying?
yes.
And
So it's
Mizzou,
one of those things where like, yeah, here's the thing. It's one of those things where like, yeah, you want to get the top teams, but like part of being the top teams is being able to have that body of work for a full season, right?
Hmm.
I believe that there's been times where we were 10-6 one time in Philly and got left out the playoffs, and I feel like we were better than some playoff teams.
of
Well,
course.
guess what? We had opportunities to win and we didn't. So like
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line. I think it's easier in college football because you have these conferences, but the way you do that, man, you get like you said, you either get rid of the conference championships. I'm gonna take it one step farther. You create two divisions. You create a
Mm.
P4 division
Like
and
it.
you create a Group 5 division, and everybody plays for their own national championship, which I think they might move to that like soon. Or
Yeah.
or you create a blue blood division, right? Like
Hmm.
something like that. So I think that's truly the only way to do it, and I feel like the cream will rise to the top because the cream is playing the cream.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
think.
I'm just looking at the model now and just
Mhm.
trying to figure out a way to tweak it without,
Yeah,
like doing so much. Like I'm just saying, like right now, if somebody would like once if Alabama sitting there with 2 losses, Georgia sitting there with 2 losses, like maybe a little further down, earlier in the
Hmm.
season, it might have been something that the committee they probably would have got together to try to. If some of our teams that we wasn't calling the big dogs in college, if they were not going to be in there, I think this would get fixed a lot sooner. But it definitely is going to take some work. Everybody coming together with the same purpose. To get it
Well,
right. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the Big 12 champions gonna get a bye, and I'm telling you right now, like I,
Not a good conference.
there may be about 6 or 7 SEC teams I like over them. So like I'm
Easy.
with you, I'm with you, but like
And those
unfortunately, this is
SEC
what we
teams,
got.
they hover in that top 20. Like I mean,
Yeah,
they
Hmm.
they respect it to a certain point. That's all. But I think ultimately, we're gonna get some good football. We're gonna get a chance to see some matchups that we haven't seen. I love the ACC, what's going on
hmm
over there. I love that
Hmm.
SMU was flying that flag in that first year, and
hmm
and I'm excited to see how things turn out because Clemson's over there waiting in the wings for Miami to kind of drop one.
Listen, I believe that you want SMU Miami to face each other. One of them
Hmm.
knock each other off. I think now you put a 3-loss SEC team in there
That could
over a
happen.
2-loss ACC. But even though they went to the Conference Championship, it just depends on
Uh-huh.
how they
Yeah.
how they
That
gonna
could
So
do
happen.
it. You know what I mean?
it's a gift and a curse. So if that does happen and you got one of these three lost teams, you're thinking what, Bama, Ole Miss ish, one of those, they won't have three
Yeah.
losses. If
How
they
many
get into
losses
the top
Tennessee got? How many losses
12,
Tennessee only got 2 losses, right?
Two. Two.
Yeah, they
Tennessee got
still
two. Tennessee's currently
we're
in it. They're
forgetting
number
about them
seven.
because what's their number now, Kevin?
But I'm saying if you number seven in the AP poll.
Got you. Yeah, they
But if you let Bama in and they get in here and they get like done bad, everybody's upset. You
hmm
let
yeah.
Bama in, they have to beat somebody. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
here's the deal. You let them in at 12, they get 5. That's your highest ranked
That's Notre Dame
non-conference
right now.
champion, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like now, I think Notre Dame's a really good football team, right?
Okay.
But like, what if that's your Indiana? Like, I'm not saying Indiana. I do think Indiana's good, but like, I guarantee Bama's favored in that game.
I tell you,
Without a doubt.
You know,
We gotta
so
figure this out.
yeah,
see what the thing is too is like what we're saying. Like Jeremy, you just said like okay, Notre Dame's a good team, but we know that Bama can match up with them, and now we take history into account.
Mm,
Because I remember playing pro ball, Mac. I love Matthew Stafford and I love Calvin Johnson, and they're not the Detroit that we're seeing now. But when
yeah,
we were preparing for them, we say, hey, we go in here and treat them like the 0-16 Lions, and they might believe that too about themselves. So you want to jump on those teams early. I believe if a Notre Dame team is down, they go back to when they played against Bama when Eddie Lacy was stepping on face masks out there. They might just
yeah.
think that
hey,
they're
who
that
is
team
the the linebacker?
too.
Teo?
Man, Tateo,
Man,
Man,
yeah,
that
yeah. My dog
no
got
honor,
catfish.
no honor.
My dog got catfish.
Now, did you
No,
watch that? I don't know. You watch that documentary on Netflix?
I
Nah,
didn't finish it. I didn't
Hey,
finish
it's
it.
crazy. Hey, it's crazy, man. Man. I
he
you
know
gotta do better.
I'm
he
off
was on
subject.
talk show TV.
You
I'm
are.
like, man, like, listen. He got done bad, man. I feel for him.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Do better. Do better. That's
Hey,
all I'm
hey,
saying on
no.
his
Hey,
part.
what you doing tonight? What you doing tonight?
Who?
You
On the net right now.
Watching the game? Yeah.
watch it.
I'm not watching that.
Watch, please, for me. Watch it.
Maybe.
Watch
Maybe.
it tonight. Yeah.
All right. So look, even though Mizzou's not really in that talk, I think Spoon just said, no, no, J-Mac said it. I like Mizzou versus Boise. I like Mizzou versus Indiana. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't watched SMU play, and I probably never will be one who
Hey,
watches SMU play.
They
I
throw
just
that
can't
thing
get
around, man. They fast, man. Yeah.
how fast can you be? It's SMU, dog. Like, come on. Can they
hey,
handle? Can they stop the run?
I don't know about the defense. I don't know about the defense,
That's my
Kevin. But that
only.
that's gonna they're gonna play Cam. If Cam Ward wins out, we'll get a chance to see that
You get to
defense.
watch
But
it. You get to watch it.
I think Miami's gonna get them. But I think that
Hmm.
one loss team, well, they already got one loss, right? They'll be a
Yeah.
two
Yes.
loss team. Yeah, they might get
Hmm.
left out, but so they gotta win. And
They do
man,
have
they
to
got
win.
some athletes. They got some athletes on offense, bro. Really fun to
Yeah.
watch.
I think it's one of those things where, like, if Miami loses to SMU, I can see them both getting in. If if let's, I'm gonna say why, because it's Miami. People still are fast, like they still Miami.
Hmm.
If SMU if SMU loses, then they're definitely out. That's how I
It
look at
had,
it.
but one thing about
So the
Miami, Mac.
ACC's best chance to get 2 in. is for Miami to lose that game. I think, in my personal opinion.
But I tell you what, they
Man, I
will
have a
get some
question. Right
styles.
now, Clemson is sitting at 12.
Clemson's in right now.
Who is Clemson? Who they lose to? Did they
Well,
lose
well, no, no. Clemson's
Georgia.
the last team out because you go to the first. Where's the first Big 12 team?
first Big
Um,
12 team?
Yeah,
I think Arizona State might have a shot to win that conference. I think BYU
yeah, it
still
might be
number one
Arizona.
team.
They're at 14.
Yeah, so right now Clemson. That means Clemson's out.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
because I don't want to see them in there.
Well,
I
Clemson
had to
won't.
get out there.
They won't be playing any like teams that vote to like help them. But if
No, they won't.
people in front of them trip up, they get a chance. I think they probably want to avoid that conference championship game anyway, and kind of let things sort out, and then be like, well, we just
Not a
won
bad spot to be in.
last, you know.
Not a bad spot to be in. So, how we feel about before we jump into our rivalry next week? How do you feel about what we saw from Mizzou this past weekend? I like what I saw, man. I like how we
Mhm.
controlled the game offensively. Obviously, I think you want to hold them to less points than Mississippi State was able to score, but I throughout that game, I never doubted that we were in control.
I, I think it was a game on the road. I think all SEC games on the road are hard. I don't care who you're playing.
Hmm.
Um, we dominated the run game. I thought we made some of those plays downfield, made some plays to Luther, made some plays to Theo, made some plays
Hmm.
to uh, Johnson, right?
Yeah, we're like a couple weeks
Man,
too
A
hey,
late.
couple,
Johnson, give
you know
me
what I mean?
Johnson. I like
I think
Johnson.
the commentator even said like this guy gets in the game and he runs deep routes and catches ball. That's all
Yeah,
he does.
Man,
yeah.
Like
big average.
we are sitting at 3 weeks too late for the offense to start hitting down the field shots, dog. Come on, what? How does it click now after we come off a week where Cook was out or
Yeah.
in and out? You know what I mean? Like he's been battling. How is it happening now? Because these are 2 weeks in a row where we've had great offensive displays. What changed? Nothing. It was the same team, same players.
For me, what
Hit,
I
man.
think you're inspired more. You know, like you get your butts beat. You know, you don't want to go play
Hmm.
a team that's not as good as you. And I think the South Carolina team, you know, that team is kind of even with Missouri, and that was a tough one. But we
I
looked
agree.
pretty dang good on both sides of the ball at times. But I think when you go into Mississippi State, and we're talking about a team that doesn't have a conference win, we need to go out there and show what we can do. And I think that one play when Cook scrambled to the right, man, that just left me wanting some more, Mac, and like had me like looking back on the year, like,
Yeah.
dang, where was that when we needed it? You know, because I mean, those were the type of plays we were making in those first four games. It wasn't like the big plays, but it was kind of like those intermediate, those NFL type of daggers, like the
Hmm.
14-yard gains. Those plays are
Yeah.
demoralizing to a defense and gives an offense, that rhythm to keep going. And I don't know, man, just a little too late, but still fun to watch them and see how the players still get up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. J Mac, what if you had to diagnose the change, what would you where do you put it? What
I
changed?
think I think it's contagious. I think we saw some success against
Mm.
South Carolina, and then that carried over to the Mississippi State game. So I think it's contagious. I think it just took one game to kind of start hitting them, and then we hit them a little bit more this past game. And then
Hmm.
I'm very interested to see how we look against Arkansas, right? Because we
Yeah.
could very well be watching the last game Luther plays, the last game Theo plays, right? If those guys choose not to play in the bowl game because we're
Hmm.
not playing for, you see what I'm
Oh,
saying? So like we
yeah,
could very
yeah.
well be watching some of these guys' last game, right? Because that's a thing now, right? Guys opt out because they want to go prepare for the draft. They don't want to get hurt, things like that. So uh, I'm just ready for us to go out with a bang. It's a rival game.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just ready to see if we can continue that success that we've been having, kind of running the ball and mirroring that with the deep passing game.
Hmm. I like what you just brought up, J Mac. I kind of want to dive into that, man. Like, I think that is a growing issue in college football,
Yeah.
and more so for the people who are not the guys who are going to the league. I think we
Yes.
all get that. Like that's let's be smart about it. You know what I mean? It's not
Transfer.
the same. It's the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Like who will we lose?
the the thing that we don't know is sometimes a guy be like, "Hey, I'm going to the portal," right? But they'll like post date it to after the bowl game
Mm.
if the coaches allow them still to play in the bowl game. Or there's guys that hey, they'll enter the portal right now and they're done. It means
Hmm.
they won't play in the bowl game, right?
Yeah.
You've heard instances where the coaches are like, yeah, you can still play in the bowl game even though you've announced you're going to the portal. Then you get some guys that want to wait until after the bowl game to announce it, but then they're like, okay, well, I might miss out on some opportunities if I don't do it right at the end of the season. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, man. I mean, you've seen a bunch of guys already in it. You've seen guys stop midway through the season, like, you know what?
You saw some
I'm gonna
guys
sit the
start
rest of
week
this out.
3.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit the rest of this one out.
Crazy.
I'm going to the portal. You know what I mean? So it's changed the game tremendously. Like that,
But
some
like,
of these teams that you see in the bowl game, like they're completely different, man. Like
uh, we played Ohio State last year.
that's what, yeah,
That wasn't the same Ohio State team all year.
exactly,
Well,
exactly.
I have
That
to
was
go back. I have to go back and do my homework on the Ohio State team, but I mean, ultimately, it was Harrison that was the one that was
yeah,
still with the team and not playing. I have to go back and
him
look because
and the quarterback. I think
And Will Howard, no, not Will Howard.
Will
he
Howard.
The
just
one
got
that's in
there.
Syracuse. Yeah,
Yeah, the guy that
Syracuse.
left, he
The one that's in
left. Yeah,
Syracuse. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the one that didn't wear number 33.
But
right.
McCord, was it McCord? McCord, yeah, something like that.
They had a 33 back there quarterback. It was sad
So
to see.
Yeah, and I
No,
knew
we
we had him.
yeah. After I saw that number at QB, it's a wrap. Dog. What you doing? But it's a good point, Mac. We may see the last of Luther.
mm,
Theo. Um, is anybody on defense? We may have seen the last of.
I think. Uh,
What year is Johnny Walker?
I think Toriano
Mm,
Pride's a dark horse. I got to see what he's gonna do.
yeah,
Um, you know, I, I think that may be it. Maybe is it? Maybe maybe Walker Jr. Maybe.
yeah. I think his
Maybe.
class. I think he's on the cusp. He's been coming along really
Yeah,
solid
You know.
down the
playing really
stretch.
good ball late for us.
Yeah. So a lot of those
I'm
high
not sure.
draft picks are like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna risk it. So
Scratch that. Who's unhappy? Who's leaving?
Mm,
Do we know? What about what's my kid, the DN, the all world DN that came, who we
oh
haven't
man,
seen much of? Is he
yeah,
happy?
the kid
the true
from
freshman.
KC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, there's no there's no reason for him to leave. There's no
Playing time.
reason.
but man,
Playing
he ain't
time,
played.
man.
No, bro,
He
you're a
didn't
true
play,
freshman.
but
No
he the
reason.
number one player in the country.
That's
Like
happening.
there's other true freshmen
Isn't
playing, and
isn't
somebody
isn't
might sell him a dream.
the who'd you bring up? Spoon? Was it the tackle we got from Oklahoma? Didn't he play 1 year at
Hey,
OU?
Aiden Green, he started 6 games for OU last year. Deuce out the
How?
roof, like, and
Yeah,
he's a
but he
top
came
back.
home. He
Oh
came
yeah,
He
home.
came home.
he's from
He
KC.
played on the same team as the guy we're talking about right now.
Right on
So
there,
Okay,
like,
and that's
okay,
okay. I
you know,
respect that.
in high
I
school
don't
he
I
think
played
didn't
it's
on
know
the
much
that.
same
to
team.
worry about. I don't think it's much to worry about on defense, and like if you leaving, then you probably you know maybe a wall went up in front of you. Maybe the relationship
Yeah.
is wrong with your coaches or something. I hope those are the
Hmm.
reasons that people are leaving as opposed to not getting playing time because you want to kind of weed those guys out when you recruiting those guys. You letting them know like hey,
Definitely.
everything you get here is going to be earned. You might get some money to sign here, but
But to get in the field, you
hey,
got to produce.
it is what it is.
Gotcha. So I haven't seen a lot of Arkansas, um, but right now they are 5-6. This is a team who is, I'm sorry, 6-5. So they're already bowl eligible.
Hmm.
I would hate to have to play a team that's 5-6. That means you got a lot you're playing for. You trying to get
Oh
this
man.
bowl game, which would be probably the brute Sun Bowl anyway. We don't want to see that. But they're 6-5 in the SEC, which after last week, that just tells me this team can beat you. You know what I mean? You don't have to have to have like fireworks and all that, but you just give me that record in that conference. I'm thinking, okay, Oklahoma, Vandy, these are teams that can beat you. They haven't had great seasons, but they can beat you.
Mm.
Um, what do you do in terms of a rivalry game? How do you get your team up to finish the season out strong?
Listen, it's senior night too, right? So yeah, I mean, if you need more motivation than that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Hmm.
Like it's
Yeah.
senior night, rival game, last regular game of the season,
Yeah,
last game at home,
bring it, bring it.
a chance to your only chance of winning double digit games this year is to win this
Hmm.
game.
Hmm.
Bro, you got a lot to play for, and I
Hmm.
hope that doesn't get lost in all of this. Yeah, were we all expecting to dance? Yeah, we were all expecting to go out there and dance, right? But there's still a lot to be proud of. There's still a lot to play for. Still a
Hmm.
lot to play for. Yeah.
You
I
got
would
to, man.
agree. I would agree, Kevin. This is, in the league, they say it's a hat and t-shirts type of game where you
Hmm.
can secure something. If you got a rivalry, it's a trophy game in college. So this is
Yeah,
one. It's not the drum. It's not the drum that we took from the Jayhawks. You know what I'm saying?
love
But
that drum.
this is an opportunity. I think it might be a phone or something like. I'm not sure.
I don't
I
know
kind of
what
get
they're
Iowa
giving up
State.
now.
I kind of get
Yeah.
Iowa State and Arkansas mixed up sometimes with
Hmm.
whichever
I don't
trophy
know
it is.
what
But
they're giving up.
but I do believe that there's incentive there. You want to send the seniors out on a great note. You
Hmm.
want the atmosphere, like Max said, at home. It's going to be exciting. Some people will be seeing some people for the very last time. So the
Yeah.
Missouri faithful is going to be really appreciative of everything these guys have given to the university. And Mac, I wanted to tap in on something because I heard something on Twitter where they were saying, maybe these guys that are going pro, guys like Luther, Theo, guys who may and really it's going to be Luther, but I think Theo has played his way into it. But maybe even commemorating them because they might not have a chance to walk out on senior day. Like this is an opportunity for them probably where they might have to leave. Like I remember we played K State. That was your last home game, and I don't think you got to walk out
Mhm.
with the seniors, but it was still like you could kind of feel the energy. What would you think if Luther would be put up there with the seniors in a sense like we ain't seeing him no more. Let's show him his appreciation as well.
Mm, mm,
How would I feel?
Yeah,
mm.
and I'll tell you how I
Um,
would feel as a senior.
Yeah.
so that was talked about very briefly
Hmm.
with me, very briefly. Now, it was never talked about like, hey, we're going to do this. It was just saying, hey, would you be opposed to doing it?
Hmm.
And I immediately shot it down because I wasn't sure if I was leaving.
Hmm.
Y'all saw I didn't want to leave, so like I
Right on.
wasn't sure
Right.
if I was leaving.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's big.
I think on the outside looking in, man, I believe that is one of the very few traditions that still holds weight in college football. So
Hmm.
let's leave that one alone. Let's leave that one to the seniors.
What about you, Kev?
I got a different take on that. I
But
agree
here's
with
the
you.
deal, Kev.
Yeah.
This is coming from somebody that left early. You didn't leave
Right.
early, so like,
You're right. So it would be disrespectful to me if somebody who doesn't play as long as I played here leaves early or gets acknowledged and they leave early. You didn't
that's
give
what I'm
me,
saying. So leave it. So leave it alone.
but I'm saying
Each
as a
situation is different.
person who did stay at the school for 5 years, you mean red shirt and then you play 4 years. Yeah, I feel like seniors do earn the right. But in today's game with the transfer portal, you may be playing in your fifth, sixth year, not at my school. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean as much to me now to be a senior at a school for a guy who comes to the University of Missouri 2006 and doesn't leave until 2010 and
Mhm.
plays every year there versus me going to SMU, going to Tennessee, landing at Mizzou and before now I'm a senior, yeah.
Here's the
But that's
deal.
just for college football. I don't care
I'm
about
with
you.
you.
So
I'm
yeah.
with you. I'm with you. But like, it's still you've earned your stripes for 4 years. Like, regardless if you've gone wherever, whatever, you still have done it for 4 years. So yeah, does it is it cool to? I don't know how. I don't know if you're ever going to see a kid started like that's the way it's looking like, right?
So
Because
then
here's the
let the
deal,
guys who want to leave, let them get some recognition
like
too.
See, as a senior in my shoes, right? Like if they would have said
Hmm.
Mac gonna rock with us, this the like if we knew what was going on, and they said Mac is
Yeah.
gonna rock. Hey, look, if you don't get out the back, chill out. Um,
Hmm.
as a senior, if they said Mac is gonna be able to be, you know, appreciated with us, and maybe even before the seniors, like just kind of like,
Yeah.
hey,
Just
because we
get them out
know
of
that.
there.
Because to me, I think in this climate, and of course I would have been cool with it because Mac, I mean, you did everything you supposed to do at Missouri, man. It's just the
Right.
clock just ran out. I think for
Yeah.
Luther, he's in that same situation, and I think the team wasn't as steady when he got there as they are now. So it's like
Mhm.
Mm.
and of course Mizzou wasn't. I mean, we were a bowl team when we got there, but Drink hadn't had a winning season, but once, and then this is the second one, right? Out of the 4 or 5 years he's been there. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
for those guys to come to school with Luther, that's the reason. Those guys that transfer in with Luther, that's the reason
Hmm.
why I think our stadium is full right now. And not the only reason. I mean, the coaches have to do their job, the players got to play. But I think it was a big step for us to get the kid from home, not far up the street in St. Louis to get him to come down there. I think that was huge. And, people just want to say their goodbyes. That's all. I think that's what it'll be about. But I'd be okay with it,
Yeah. Look,
just like I
look.
would have been with
Let's
you.
be honest. If he wanted to, yeah, like if Luther wanted to, he could transfer somewhere. He can go to Tennessee. He can go somewhere else and that be his last game and not even like being like a send off. I'm going to the league. Give him some flowers. I understand you, Mac, but I'm all for giving flowers for the guys who come to this school as a freshman, play as a true freshman, give 3 years of basically all you have,
Hmm.
and you put up great numbers. It's time for you to go. Hey, I'm here to recognize you. I'm here to recognize you, Luther. Appreciate you. If you don't get it, look here,
I
Luther.
think
If
I
you don't
think
get it
if you go
on
to the league,
Saturday,
yeah, but not if you're about to go transfer to another SEC school.
obviously,
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's saying like, hey,
Fact.
I'm out. No, you can't. You
no.
can't.
we not having
No,
that.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. But I'm saying, like, if Luther is indeed going to move on and play pro ball after this season, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
How,
That that to me,
you know what I
Kevin,
mean?
just really like points out the times. Like I'm
But
seeing
that
these
man,
guys with C's. They got C's on their chest. They're not even seniors. Like you couldn't even like we. I mean, you could only be a
Come on,
captain one
man.
year. Like Matt didn't get to be a captain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
it's
Mac
but
wild
wasn't
to
really.
there
watch.
was a
He
bunch
wasn't
of
mature
things.
enough.
There were a bunch of things that I wish I could have experienced.
Hmm.
But fellas,
Mac ain't had no
I
leadership
I
abilities.
was dra- I was drafted at 20. I can't be mad at that. Like,
No, you can't be mad.
Not at all.
Can't be
so
mad. Anyway, so we had this rival game, which will be essentially the last game of the season for a lot of people, man. Give me your predictions. If you got to go out with a bang, give me your predictions, man.
ooh, score.
Score predictions. I'm sorry. Yeah, score predictions.
I'm gonna go. What we scored 39 last week. Excuse me. The
Hmm.
week before we scored what 30.
Yeah, we got it going.
Yes,
Uh, I'm gonna say 38-17. Good guys.
38-17. I like it. I like it. Hey,
I like that
I'm
too. Go ahead,
I'm
Tony.
going out on a limb. I'm just gonna say it. Like we need a shutout, man. We just need a
Well,
shutout,
hold on,
please.
time out, whoa, time out, no, no. Didn't somebody put up 60 something on Arkansas? Was that Ole Miss that did that?
Ole Miss was, hey, Matt, they was, but then
Give me
Arkansas
45.
also got
Give me 45-21.
It was
45.
63-31.
Give me 45-21.
I'm gonna go.
Arkansas.
24 nothing. 24 nothing. Send the seniors out right, and let's show that our defense can have a great showing versus an SEC team. We
Hmm.
showed it early on against teams that then Boston College came and put some points up on us, and that was
Yeah.
unfortunate. Kind of started some trends. Vandy starting it off, and then all the other teams on the road. That was rough. But I think to be at the stadium one last time, to have all these guys together, it'll be imperative for us to send them out on a great note, which may even be more inclined for the guys to play in the bowl game. Just knowing
Yeah,
that 10 is something that we want to do. Because if I ain't gonna play in the bowl game, hell, I wouldn't play now. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good point.
I just stop playing right now and just go
That's
to
a good point.
Exos. But hopefully we can have just one of them environmental games at Mizzou where it just feels like, man, it's a great place, man. Let's put it on the line
Hmm.
one more time. So I'm gonna go 24-0, bro. 24-0.
All right, I'll go 34-10. Offense has been killing lately. Um, I don't have a lot of faith in what Arkansas can do offensively. I mean, I can't name. I'm looking at their roster now. I mean, or their leaders.
They got tailback.
Nobody's. He's rushing 700 yards. They got a wideout with the Grand right now. Decent enough.
A
But
stag.
QB's showing a lot of picks though. He got 19 interceptions. So I mean, he got 9 interceptions. So I'm gonna go 34-10, man. Good guys, as J Mac would say.
You're good guys. I can dig it.
All right, y'all, man. Uh-oh. Great night. Great night once again. Once again, it's always a pleasure catching up, man. We'll see you boys next week after the game.